Hey everybody, today I thought we'd take a look at the Predaking reissue set from 2010, and this is the second reissue. I believe there was one a couple of years before this that was slightly different. This is the version where all the yellow plastic's been replaced with gold, and the box is not so much G1 looking, although it does sort of slightly resemble it with the grid lines and things in the purple colour. So as you can see, made by Takara Tomy. Welcome to Transformers 2010, and you can see all the 5 individual robots there. We've got Razorclaw, we've got Rampage, we've got Divebomb, Tantrum and Headstrong. And on this side you can see Predaking himself. Now I do have a little bit of an issue with this box. The way it's designed and the sheer weight of this figure, if you can see that there on this end, it just doesn't want to stay in properly, and that's because it has a carry handle on the top that you pull out, and then this bit will all fold forward. Instead of just making it a normal box, which would have got rid of that problem. Why you need a carry handle, I do not know. So just something to be aware of. On the top there you can see the handle, and you can see a picture of the toy there in Predaking mode. This thing weighs an absolute ton. On the back of the box you can see the 5 different toys there, and we've got the combined mode and little sort of bio card things for each one on there, and the rest is in Japanese and I can't read it, so that'll have to do for the box. So inside the box all the figures come in this plastic tray, and this bit will just lift off. And you can see there, we've got all the 5 Transformers. There's a pair of feet, a pair of hands, a head and a gun. And underneath there we've got the instructions, and there's a little separate plastic tray that holds all the swords and all the small guns for the separate Transformers. So as you can see, all the weapons come in this little plastic tray, and this does have a lid. Let me pop that off. And you can see there's 5 swords, and they're all virtually identical, just slightly different at the hilt. And we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 guns, and they're all similar but slightly different. To be quite honest, I need the instructions to tell what goes with who on this set, so. But it is nice that they come in a nice little presentation pack like that. So as usual, we get this little mail away thingy. I think this might be lucky draws or something like that, but blank on the other side. Now sticker sheets. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this different Transformers. And we also get this one, and these are alternate eyes that you can use for the different robots. Now to be honest, most of them have red heads anyway, so if you put the red eyes on, you're just not going to see them. I've used them on one figure there, you can see. I can't remember which one, but we'll come to that when I get to the figures. We also get the usual instruction sheet. It's not too big, this one, but it is reasonable sized, and that goes through all the different bits. And I did need this at first because I've never had this set before. But quite handy is the little bit there that shows you all the different weapons that goes with who. You can see the combination mode there, but it's all Japanese. So, and we get these little trading cards as usual. So you can see the Predaking one there, and on the back we've got tech specs, and we've got a little bit of bio there. And this one is Headstrong, is that? And you can see his little picture there, and that would be Divebomb. And on the back, and Tantrum, and again, Razorclaw, and his little lion mode there, and finally Rampage. So this is Tantrum. As you can see, he's a bull, and he's quite a chunky little bull. These side bits here are metal, and this bit is all metal, and same on the other side, and that makes him pretty heavy. Now he's going to be one of the legs, and both the legs on these I've got a lot of die cast in, which is good because it sort of helps to balance the figure when he's in Predaking mode. As you can see, he's got horns. They are a little bit wobbly. I'm not sure if they were always like that. And these little bits here I believe were yellow on the original, but they're just sort of painted gold on this one. He does have factory applied stickers and stickers that you put on yourself, and they're not the best stickers in the world. You can see the little screw hole starting to appear through there. They're not bad, but they're not up to the standard of repro labels, unfortunately. You can see he's got skinny little back legs. They don't move at all, but his front legs do sort of do that. Now he does have an attack mode, and we get this big thing which is going to be Predaking's foot, and those two little pegs just pop in the top like so. So he's now got a big cannon on his back. It's a little bit silly. We'll take that off. So for transforming him, we slide this back section out, fold these inside, and they will just clip down to be feet. And then what do? We can take these sections, and these just untap and bend round, and that forms his arms. And we've got this little piece which folds down. You can see his little Decepticon rub symbol there, and on his back we pull these bits down, and he's got a head underneath that head there, and we can turn that around, giving him his robot head. So in his robot mode, his legs are all joined together, so they ain't going to move anywhere. You can move the arms about a little bit, and he's got a sort of an elbow joint there. Unfortunately, underneath his hands are all hollow, and you can turn his head a little bit. If you push it back, it will turn a little bit more because of this piece there. But I like to keep it just clipped at the front. Now he does come with a sword, which is this one. I had to check the instructions to work that out. It's just a little gold plastic sword. So according to the instructions, these are the correct guns for Tantrum. Now this one stays in okay, but this one, the slightest touch and it just comes straight back out again. So it makes me wonder, have they got it right in the instructions? Because these really don't want to stay in. But that's the gun that it says you should put in. So this is Headstrong, and he's a rhino. And he's got little stubby legs there. You can do that with the back ones, but the front ones don't move at all. You can sort of move his head, but you've got this big gap in the back. You can lift it up if you want, or right down there. Not quite sure where it's meant to go. That sort of looks about okay. Now these stickers on here, these are factory applied stickers. I don't know if you can see there, but the red layer on the top's actually peeling off. I've only transformed this a couple of times, but with it being right on the edge, it's just peeling away, which isn't very good really. This entire back section is all die cast, and this makes him the heaviest figure in this set, and he does weigh a ton. You could knock someone out if you hit him with this. On the front there you can see the little robot head sticking down the bottom. He's got his Decepticon logos there. And around the back, just a big hole. And just like Tantrum, you can take the other foot and stick it on the top there. It does leave a big gap in the middle leg. And that's his attack mode, which is okay, I suppose. It's something to do with the feet, isn't it, really? So for his transformation, we take the back, and we've got to slide this all the way out, which gives us a big long rhino mode. We just move that out the way for now. Push these inside his chest, They're a little bit tight. As you can see, all this is gold plastic. This was yellow on the original one. So next we take these back legs and we fold these completely inside there. And there's also this little piece that will pull out and form a heel spur. It's actually quite essential, this guy, because the back of him is so heavy, he's just going to topple backwards if you don't do that. And these pieces sort of go like that to give us some feet. Then we can take these bits and these just slide out from underneath, and he's already got fists there. Do the same on the other side. And finally we just got to move that back, and there's his head on the top there. Yeah, he's very heavy, this guy, extremely heavy, just with all this back bit being die cast. Now according to the instructions, again, this is his sword, and that'll just pop in his hand like that. Oh, we've got some guns, and they'll just sort of sit in there. They're quite loose fitting again, but they do actually go in this time, which is good. So next up we've got Rampage, and he's a panther or something, I think. And his mouth does open just slightly, but it is pretty tight. It's a shame these teeth weren't painted white, that would make it look a little bit better. And you can clearly see a robot head underneath there. Around the back, he's got some big slots where the legs are going to go. And that's about it really. You can take his guns and give him an attack mode by plugging them in the sides, if you're into that kind of thing. I would say it does look a bit silly, so we won't bother doing that. Now this guy doesn't have any gold plastic on him at all, so from what I can tell this is pretty faithful to the original. So for his transformation, I take the tail and get rid of that. Take these legs and flip them away, and then these bits will just turn around like that. And under there we've got some little bits that fall around to make feet. Then we can take this bit and move that around down to there, flip his head over, and then these side bits will just slide out. They are pretty tight though. I think you've got to move that first. Yeah, that would help. There we go. And then he's got some little fists. Just slide out of there. And that's his robot mode. And again we get the little sword. And we get two of these, but we'll just put one in for now. And then these bits we can bring around there just to tidy him up a bit. And that is Rampage. Next up we've got Divebomb, and he's a sort of eagle of sorts. And on the front there you can see the gold plastic, that would have been yellow originally. Around the back, on his back, I believe that was yellow as well. I'm just hoping this isn't the gold plastic that breaks over time, because I would be rather gutted if this set broke. On there you can see that's all die cast metal. And on his wings, I should explain the stickers on these. These little end bits are all stickers you put on yourself. These bits are all factory applied. Actually I think that one you put on. Yeah, so these bits are factory applied. Now, when this came out of the box, that was done to the stickers. I was gutted when I saw that. Bearing in mind this is a very expensive set to buy. You shouldn't be facing stuff like that. So I've got to keep his wings tucked in. And even on this side, they managed to make a mess of it there as well. I could get some repro labels, but they're expensive and you can sort of hide it for now. On the instructions it shows him like that, in his flight mode. But I prefer to keep him like that. His mouth does open and close a little bit. And he's got these little claws underneath. And he also comes with these guns that you can pop in his wings. That gives him a little attack mode. I'll take them out for now. So to transform him, get rid of the claws. And what do we do next? We bring these legs around, just like that. So that's going to be his feet. And we pull these side bits out. Now these extend. And in there we've got some gold plastic hands. So I'm guessing yellow originally. And now his head, you can either have it like that, or officially it goes like that, sort of ActionJackMan style. And with the wings you can move them up, move them down, whatever you want really. And then we can take his sword. It's easy to tell his sword because it's got little wings on. That pops in there, and obviously one of the guns you can either put in there or you can put them both back in his wings. So we'll do that just to give him a place to live. And then you've got this bit on the back that sort of up or down, whatever you want to do. Straighten him out a bit. So that is Divebomb. So finally this is Razorclaw, and he is the leader of the Predakings. As you can see, he's got an awful lot of gold plastic on him. So originally we had a yellow head, we had a yellow robot head. These sections were all yellow, but they're now gold, just like Rampage. He's got the big holes in the back of his legs. He does have the little tail that moves. And his legs, you can sort of do that with. And the front ones, you've got a bit of articulation there, and you can sort of move them backwards and forwards. But to be honest, they sort of sit best like that. And he's got these little guns on the sides, these don't come off. And on his head, on the mane, we can see all these stickers. These you have to put on yourself, and you can see there's a bit of curling going on. Now this is the one where I put the red eyes on, because they were just all gold and you couldn't really see him. I thought he looked quite good with red eyes. Now he does have an attack mode, and we take this gun. This is Predaking's main gun. And in this mode it'll just sit on the top like that. Got a little hole there. So that gives us his attack mode. So for his transformation, we flip the tail away. We get rid of these little legs. Bring these round. Pop the legs down. And again he's got little feet that pop round. And we take this lion's head and gently ease it that way, and then it'll spin round and gently move down, covering his chest. And we can take the head and flip that over the top, and then under here if we gently pull these out. Again, this is more gold plastic, and I really hope this doesn't start breaking in the future. These arms will pop out, and they're extremely tight. And then he's got little fists that pop out there. And click into place. As you can see, his waist turns a little bit as well. And all he has is a sword. Doesn't have any guns or anything. And that is Razorclaw in his robot mode. So here you can see all the Predakings together, and they look rather impressive. There's a lot of shiny stickers on there, there's a lot of gold, there's a lot of orange and a lot of black. But this isn't why you buy this set. You buy this set for Predaking. And Predaking has got to be the greatest combiner, because he's not made up of mini bots, he's made up of full-size transformers. And that makes him huge. So let's put these guys together and just see how impressive Predaking actually is. So we'll start with Tantrum and Headstrong, and these guys are going to be his legs. What we do is slot that in there like that. And I think we turn this head round somehow. That's it, like that. Get rid of his arms. And that bit goes back up like that. Do we do it like that? Yeah, I think that's about it. And then his feet will be under here. And that's going to give us leg number 1. So with Headstrong, what we do is we get rid of that little heel spur. It just clips away like so. And we bring these bits round like that. Lose his arms. Pop his head down there and spin this around like that. And then give that a push and it goes in so far. And that will slot into there. And that's going to give us his other leg. Next up we take Divebomb and we just remove his back like so. Get rid of that. We'll need that later. So from here we flip these around and then we push that back down. Get rid of his little arms. Squash them away. And his head just goes like that. You notice he's got this little peg on his back. That's going to enable him to clip in, and we spin this bit around. And that pretty much gives us an arm. Then we take one of these fists. I think this is the right one. Now there's a big bit and there's a little bit. The big bit goes in that little bit there. And you've got to sort of drop it on the floor. Yeah, ease that bit in there, and then you slot that over the top, and that will give us a hand, just like that. So for the other arm, we take Rampage, and we get rid of these little feet, and we spin them around like so. And he's got this little piece in the back that allows him to clip into Razorclaw. And we get rid of his head, and this bit I believe goes, actually I think it stays like that. Get rid of these. Sorry, we've got to do that first. Yeah, these get in the way if you don't do them first. They must go down like so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that stays like that. Now, this has to turn around, and this bit is terrifying. I like clicky joints, but this, wait till you hear this, this is ridiculous. It took me about half an hour when I got this to get enough courage to twist it round. So here we go. No joint should be like that. That is just terrifying. I don't know what's happening inside there. Probably searing it apart. And again, oh, big end first. Gotta slot these in between there. And that gives us his other arm. So last but not least, we take Razorclaw. Now there are some sort of fan variations of how you transform this guy to give him a bit of stability. But I'm going to show you how it says in the instructions. They're just going to sit like that. These flip away and spin around, and if we just move that head up slightly, that allows us to turn this bit around, and then it drops back down again. And that is pretty much going to be the central body. So to attach the legs, we need the heads facing forwards, not upwards like I had it a minute ago. And these legs need to pull apart, which gives us enough clearance to put them in. And then they'll just slot in on the top there. You notice there's a little button there, and if you push that, it moves in and out. That allows you to unlock the legs afterwards when you're taking him back to his separate modes. So there you go, that's his legs all together now. So to put the arms in, what we do is we take these little slots, and these will just pop into there. And same on this side. Now these do turn, but they're very tight, and the sheer weight of these arms just means it wants to flop quite a bit, so you're better off sort of keeping the arms reasonably pointing downwards. Now around the back we've got the little wing section to add on, so what we do is slide these legs down and they'll give us a little sort of platform to stand this piece on. Now there's a square peg there and there's a square hole there, and that just sort of goes in. It's not the best fit in the world and it doesn't really want to sit straight, so you just sort of got to manoeuvre it between these feet to get it to sort of stay where you want it really. As you can see, it wants to go one way or the other rather than sitting in the middle, but it does sort of go in like that somehow. And then obviously these wings, you can spread them out if you want, but I tend not to because you can see all that sticker damage on there, so I keep it limited to that sort of pose. So next we need to add his head, and as you can see he's got this teeny little head there, and we're going to use this bit, which in true combiner fashion just sits over the top of the existing head and it looks pretty cool. So next up, let's give him his weapons. Now he does have a sword, which unfortunately is the same sword that we get with Razorclaw, and as such it looks so silly in his hand. It's tiny, it's a dagger, that's not a sword, that's a dagger. But that's all we get, unfortunately. Now he does have a gun, which is this gun, and what we do is we slide this around like so, and that covers that bit, and we pull all this bit out to give us a bigger gun, and that's just going to slot in the hole there. You can't actually hold this in his hand, it just sort of goes on his arm. So he's quite articulated, you can sort of move his arms about a bit, but the weight of him just brings it all down again. You can sort of move the legs, but again, he's just so heavy. He stands like that, and that's about all you're going to get really. And he's a little finicky with his bits that want to move, and these joints are so tight they just sort of do what they want really. But he is pretty impressive. He is by far the biggest combiner. This guy is ridiculously big. He's got to be the heaviest transformer in the history of transformers. I don't know about Fort Max, I've never held one, but I can't imagine he's this heavy. This is like a ton weight, this thing. This is heavier than a baby, just because of the sheer amount of die cast in him. He's very, very impressive. He's one just to stand on your shelf though. I wouldn't give this to a kid because it'll only break, they'll drop it and smash it or something. So yeah, do you get this one? I'd say definitely. If you like G1s, you've just got to do it. It's very expensive though. The three options you've got is the original, which is, unless you're very rich, you've got not a lot of chance of getting one of them if you don't have it already. There's a early 2000s reissue, which is virtually the same as the G1 from what I can tell, and that is also ridiculously expensive. And then there's this guy who he's expensive, but he's not ridiculously expensive yet. I got this one for about £130, and then I copped for customs on top of that, which was about another £20. But for 5 Transformers, £30 each, that didn't seem too bad to me. And these are proper Transformers, these aren't mini bots. So if you can get them for around that price, I would do it. And I'd do it pretty soon, because these are going to disappear before long and they'll get stupidly expensive like all the other Predakings do. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this guy. This is the ultimate combiner. This is the Predaking. This has been Luke, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.